Hey everyone, it's Barni from Intech Studio, and I'm here to talk about the changes we are making to our product line. You could probably see on our shop and on our Instagram that we started to refer to our current modules as legacy modules. And that can cause a bit of confusion, especially for newer users, so here I am trying to make things clear. So, a bit of history. Grid as a control surface, as these little controller modules, were born 6 years ago now, which is quite crazy to think about. And it all started with this. This is Grid Generation 1. We didn't really have a version name for these because we didn't think about the future. We were just a small garage company trying to survive. So we made what we could. We did our best, and these modules came out of it. These bad boys came with injection molded houses, and they had this little logo on every module telling us which type of module we are having. For example, this is the PBF4. These little controllers ran the microcontroller called SAM-D51. And they were pretty solid devices, but at some point, you know how it goes, supply problems arose. So we had to look for alternatives. That's when we started to implement the ESP32 as a microcontroller that was safer on the supply chain side and also a bit more powerful, so we could implement more powerful features, such as the screen. But that's way ahead of our timeline. So yeah, we made the change for the ESP32. We also had a huge leap forward with these injection molded houses. These were more durable, also look better. It's more sleek, more professional looking. Yeah, with these improvements, we also paired a couple of changes regarding the control elements. For example, the faders got these dust protectors. And as a lot of things changed simultaneously in these modules, we decided to make things clear with a version change. That meant that the D51 modules now became legacy. The whole D51 range became legacy. And we had Grid 2.0. And this is what we are having until this day. We don't always emphasize this, but the range that we are selling is the Grid 2.0. However, Grid D51 modules never became obsolete. We never bricked them. The firmware and editor versions are working properly with the D51s. And also, most importantly, the two versions are compatible with each other. So if you had D51 modules and now you got new Grid 2.0 modules, they work together, they click together, so everything works. D51 is still supported, although it is not manufactured anymore. And now we are at the current state. We reached the present. And we reached the point of another huge leap forward for us, and that is Grid Series 3. Grid Series 3 is yet again a big bunch of changes we are implementing at the same time, and that calls for a version change. The same thing will happen as we transition from D51 to the ESP32. All the recent controllers, all the legacy modules that you have, that users have, will be supported. So the Grid 2.0 will keep being supported. New editor and new firmware versions will work on them. And of course, Grid Series 3 modules will be completely backwards compatible. So control surfaces using multiple different versions of modules will be completely doable. Now, Let me tell you what is new in the Grid Series 3 or S3 for short modules. Probably the most exciting thing, for me at least, is these. We have pressure-sensitive Hall effect mechanical key switches in the new modules. That goes for every button module. So the PBF4, the BU16, also Tech 2 and Vision 1. All the modules that have buttons, they will arrive with these Hall effect mechanical key switches. This is a very new technology that finally allowed us to make pressure-sensitive buttons. It's the same tech that you can see in cutting-edge mechanical keyboards nowadays. Also, very important thing, that the keycaps are interchangeable. This has standard MX shafts, so every standard MX keycap will fit on these. Probably the only thing you want to keep in mind that we have these LEDs for visual feedback, and if you put on a cap that is not transparent, it will block the light coming from the LED. Okay, moving on. In Grid Series 3 modules, we have metal shaft potentiometers and encoders, which is also a big quality update from the plastic ones we had earlier. The plastic ones, don't get me wrong, they are getting the job done, and also our engineers put on tons of hours of iterations, so it could be as good as possible, but the same consistency cannot be reached with plastic as it can be with metal. So yeah, we made the change. Encoders and potentiometers now arrive with metal shafts, and that goes for all the modules that have encoders and potentiometers, the PBF4, EN16, EF44 and PO16. Oh, one thing I almost forgot, we will have smooth encoders. So every encoder-based module will now be available with smooth encoders as well, which was highly requested, and we are happy that we could make it happen finally. And last but not least, the front panel of the modules are changing. The Grid Series 3 modules will arrive with this textured PCB material front panel, which is changing out of two reasons. First, the previous front panels were a huge pain regarding quality control. We had a lot of bad ones we couldn't use. A lot of times people had to wait on modules because we had to order new batches of front panels because what we got was bad. So one thing we are trying to improve is the quality control side. And another very big improvement that is arriving with these panels is that we will be able to make custom prints on it because it's a PCB material, it can be easily printed, so custom designs can be implemented in the future. Feel free to comment down below if you have any ideas of designs that could be interesting, or if you have any thoughts on this. Well, yeah, I think I could give you a short summary on the history and of the future of our modules. So to sum up things again, D51 was the first versions. You can see the logo on the front panel. Grid 2.0 was the second version that we had for a long time and we are having right now. But as the Grid Series 3 will launch soon, we are phasing out the manufacturing of Grid 2.0 modules. However, they will still receive updates, firmware and editor-wise, and they will be usable with newer purchased modules. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. We are curious to see your opinions about the Series 3 modules. We are open to get your feedback about them. Also, I would always recommend our Discord server. There you can have a chat with our developers and find out more if you are interested in a more deep level. Also, our forum is a very good source of information. You can reach that from our website, Intech Studio. And as this video comes to the end, allow me a quick detour from the topic. The creative team of Intech Studio is trying to upgrade the quality of the visual content we are having to be worthy to the product that the engineers are improving so tirelessly. So if you have any feedbacks, ideas, comments on how could we improve the quality of these videos, what kind of contents would you like to see, or your opinion on what I'm doing right now, I would be very open and grateful for that as well. So yeah, I think that was it. I hope I didn't forget anything. See you next time. Bye.